Hi, is the screen visible for everybody?
Sir.
Konbanwa Siddharth-san. Hi, so we'll start with lesson 19 today. Okay, so we'll start with the kanjis for the lesson 19. So the first kanji that we have on the screen, it has the reading of fuku. Okay, fuku. So fuku, which means clothes or clothing. So this is the kanji for clothes. So it has a reading fuku. Okay. Any doubts regarding this kanji?
No, sir.
Hi. So the next kanji that we have is the kanji for the word same or equal in Japanese. So it has two readings. The first reading being do, onaji. So onaji we know is the word for be the same. So the word for same in Japanese is onaji. So you can say onaji da or onaji. Okay. Any doubts regarding this kanji?
No, sir.
So the next kanji that we have is the kanji for the verb to stop. Okay, so you have the readings of the kanji is shi, tomeru, tomaru. So the kanji has the meaning to stop. So for example, you have the verb shu, shi, suru. That is to call off or cancel. And then you have the two verbs tomeru and tomaru, which mean to stop. So tomeru is a transitive verb and tomaru is the intransitive verb, which means stop. Both of them mean stop. One is transitive, one is intransitive. Any doubts?
No, sir.
So the next kanji is the kanji for to run. So the verb to run in Japanese is hashiru. Okay, hashiru is the verb to run. Any doubts?
No, sir.
Hi. So the next kanji that we have is the kanji for death or to die. So it has the readings of shi, shinu. So if you remember number 4 also, we have a reading for number 4 as well, which is known as she, which we don't use very often, and this is why we have the second reading known as yon for number 4, because she in general it basically means death. So instead of saying she, the Japanese people prefer using and saying yon. So we have few words over here. So she, like I said, means death. She tai is a corpse. You have your she kanji, the death kanji, and the karada kanji, right, for body. So a dead body, shitai, corpse. Shinu is the verb in Japanese to die. Okay, any doubts here?
No, sir.
Hi. So the next kanji that we have is the kanji for the sea or the ocean. So it has the readings of kai,
Kai.
umi,
Mm.
which means sea or ocean. Okay, so you have hi. So you have few words associated with it, right? So the first word is kaigan.
And why Kai is given in katakana?
So kai is an onyomi, right? So that's why on top it's given in katakana.
They don't have Japanese. I mean, other than movie, they don't have any word for
So you
ocean.
have onyomi and kunyomi, right? So kai is your onyomi. That's why it's given in katakana. So your kaigan will be written in hiragana because it's a Japanese word.
Yes, sir.
Any other doubts, Siddharth-san?
No, sir. Yes.
Hi. So the first word we have is kaigan,
Kaigan.
which is a coast or a beach. And the second word is kaigai,
Kaigai.
which is an overseas country. And that word for sea in Japanese is umi. Okay, umi is sea. So any doubts regarding this kanji?
No, sir.
Okay, the next kanji that we have is the kanji for a station. So station, a railway station or station in Japanese is known as eki. So the kanji has reading eki. Okay, any doubts regarding this kanji? So shall we move ahead?
Yes, sir.
Hi. So the next kanji we have is the kanji for house. So it has the readings of ka,
Ka.
ie.
Ye.
So this is the kanji which has the meaning of house or family, home or family. So for example, the word for family in Japanese we know, right? It is kazoku. Can you try pronouncing it?
Kazoku.
Kazoku means family. So the ka for kazoku is this kanji. The zoku kanji, you will learn it in the next level. Similarly, you have when you say ie, the word for house, right? So ie is this kanji. Okay, any doubts regarding this kanji? So shall we move ahead?
Yes, sir.
Hi. So the next kanji is the kanji for direction, right? For a direction or a method or a person. So the kanji, basically you can remember it for a direction. So for example, the kanji has readings ho
Oh.
and kata. So for example, you have the first word, right? Hoko. So hoko is a word for direction. You even have muki, but hoko is the most common word used for direction. Similarly, you have sukai katta. We saw this in one of our lessons, right? Sukai katta, which means how to use. So the method is known as, we use this kanji for the katta part when we talk about a method, how to use something. The next one is mi katta. Mi katta is a viewpoint. Again, it because from each person's perspective it differs. So that's why we use this kanji. Any doubts? Shall we move ahead?
Yes, sir.
Hi. So let's look at the stroke orders of the kanjis.
服、服、同じ、同、同じ、同、止まる、し、止まる、し、走る、そう、走る、そう、死ぬ、し、死ぬ、し、海、海、海、海、駅、駅、家、か、や、け、家、か、や、け、
Hi. So we move ahead with the lesson. We'll start with the grammar for the day. So you have over here a photo, right? So you have a sentence here. So you have parota wa totemo oishi kara takusan tabemashita. Parota wa totemo oishi kara takusan tabemashita. Right? Anybody who can tell me what does it mean? When I say parota wa totemo oishi kara takusan tabemashita.
Too much parota. We had too much parota.
Yeah, it was very good, Sirachan. So because it was the parota was really delicious, very delicious. So I ate, because of that, I ate a lot, right? So can you read the next line for me and explain it to me, Sirachan?
Parota wo tabensu kimashita. Hello, Sensei, are you able to hear me?
Yes, Sirachan.
Parota wo tabensu
Sugima,
kimashita.
right? Parota o
Tabensu
tabe
kimashita.
sugimashita. Hi, very good, Sirachan. Parota o tabe sugimashita. So what exactly is this phrase trying to tell us now? We're saying parota o tabe sugimashita. So the verb over here is tabe sugiru, right? So sugiru over here means too much, right? I ate too much. I ate a lot of parotas, right? So too many, too much. So doshina form wa nan desu ka? What is the verb form over here? Anybody? The verb form? We have tabe sugiru, right? What is the form of the verb taberu here? You have to drop the mass and add sugiru, right? It's your doshi, no? Mass stem plus sugiru, correct? We have tabe mass, we say, right? So tabe is your mass stem which you're adding with sugiru, right? So that's how we use verbs with sugiru, which means too much. Any doubts over here?
No, sir.
Right. So we have sugiru. So sugiru is the second group verb, okay? And it means it has also meanings of passing through or go by. So there are two ways of using the verb sugiru. One way is to say that okay, too much, and the other way of other meaning of sugiru is when you say pass through or go by. So for example, the train passed through a tunnel. So the train passed through a tunnel. So densha ga tunnel taneru o sugita. Densha ga toneru o sugita, right? Or we say, for example, 1 year went by. Ichinenga sugita, right? Ichinenga sugita. Any doubts here?
No, sir.
Hi. So we have the verb sugiru, right? So the polite form will be
Sugimas.
sugimas.
Sugima.
Polite negative form will be
Sugimasen.
very good, sugimasen or
Naides.
naides. Polite past form,
Sugimashita.
very good, Siddhartha. Sugimashita. The polite negative past form,
Sugimasen deshita or Sugi Nakata des.
very good, Siddhartha. So sugimasen deshita or sugina katta des. Any doubts over here?
No, sir.
So sugiru, we have the plain form, right? The jisho form or the plain form is sugiru. The plain negative form will be
Suginai.
very good, Siddhartha. Sugi nai. The plain past form will be
Sugita. Sugita.
ta. Very good, sugita. And the plain negative past form will be
Sugina Kata.
very good, Siddhartha. Sugina katta. So sugiru is the jisho form. The plain negative form, the nai form is sugi nai. Because it's a second group verb, you just drop the mass and add nai. Sugita is your ta form and sugina katta is the plain negative past form. Any doubts over here?
No, sir.
Hi. So we can use this even with adjectives, right? So for example, we have an adjective over here. Oki. What does oki mean?
Okay means big.
Very good, Siddhartha. We have a sentence here, right? Zubon ga oki sugiru. Zubon ga oki sugiru. Which means that this pant is very big for me, right? It's very big. It's too big. This pant is too big. So how are we changing from oki to oki sugiru?
Dropping E and adding Sugiru.
Very good, Siddhartha. You just drop E and add sugiru. So you can use sugiru with even adjectives, right? Like E kyoshi over here. You can say oki sugiru. The pant is too big. So subon is nothing but pants we know in Japanese. Any doubts over here?
No, sir.
Hi. So the next one we have is parota ga suki sugiru. We have parota ga suki sugiru. I like parota too much or I like parota a lot. We are using it with a na keyoshi right now, right? So suki da is your na keyoshi. And we use it when we use it with sugiru, it becomes suki sugiru. Any how do we change it from suki da to suki sugiru?
dropping the and adding Sugiru.
Very good, Siddharth-san. So you just drop da and add Sugiru. That's how we use it with the Kyoshis as well, when you want to say too much or excess. Okay, any doubts over here? Hi. So let's do a bit of Renshu then. So we have the first verb on the screen, right, which is nomu. Nomu, which means to
Read.
drink, right?
Or
Nomu means
read.
to
Okay.
drink. Siddharth-san, can you try doing this for me?
Nomi Sugiru.
Very good, Siddharth-san. So becomes nomi sugiru. Okay, the next verb we have is kau, which means
Buy.
to buy, right? Kau, which means to buy. Shweta-san, can you try doing this for me?
Hi, Sensei. Kai Sugiru.
Very good, Shweta-san. So becomes kai sugiru. So the next verb we have is benkyosuru, right? Which means
Type.
benkyosuru means to
To read.
no.
To study.
Very
To
good,
study.
Shweta-san. To study. Right? Benkyosuru means to study. Vishnupriya-san, can you try doing this for me?
Hi, Sensei. Benkyoshi Sugiru. Sugiru.
Hi. Very good, Vishnupriya-san. Arigato gozaimasu. So the next Kyoshi we have is takai, which means
Expensive or tall.
expensive or tall,
Tall.
right? Hemalata-san, would you like to try doing this?
Hi, Sensei. Taka Sugiru.
Very good, Hemalata-san. Arigato gozaimasu. So becomes taka sugiru. So the next Kyoshi we have is shizukada, which means
Quiet or silent?
very good, Shweta-san. So it means quiet or silent, right? Sahana-san, would you like to try doing this? Sahana-san? Hi, Ganesh-san, would you like to try attempting this?
Yes, sir. Suzuki ka Sugiru.
Very
Sexy.
good, Ganesh. Hi, arigato gozaimasu. So it is, hi. So it is Shizuka Sugiru. Shizuka Sugiru. The next verb is yasumu, which means
To rest.
to rest, right? Yasumu, which means to rest. Siddharth-san, can you do it for me?
Yes, Sensei. Yasumi Sugiru.
Yasumi Sugiru. Very good, Siddharth-san. Hi. So the next Kyoshi is Atsui, right? Which means hot, right? So Vishnupriya-san, can you try doing this for me? Vishnupriya-san?
Hi, Sensei.
Hi.
Where are we? I got
Atsui. So with Sugiru, how will we say it?
Aksugir. I'm not getting it.
Atsu Sugiru.
Sugiru.
Aksu Sugiru.
Very good, Vishnupriya-san. Hi, arigato gozaimasu. So the next Kyoshi is Urusai, which means
Noisy.
noisy, right? Hemalata-san, can you try doing this for me? Hemalata-san? Hi, Shweta-san, can you try doing this for me?
Hi, Sensei. Urusa Sugiru.
Very good, Shweta-san. So it becomes Urusa Sugiru, right? Urusa Sugiru, right? So shall we read all the verbs and the Kyoshis with Sugiru once? How we are changing it? So we have Nomu,
Nomu.
Nomi Sugiru,
Nomi Sugiru.
Kau,
Kau.
Kai Sugiru,
Kai Sugiru.
Benkyosuru,
Benkyu Shuru.
Benkyoshi Sugiru,
Benkyu Si Sugiru.
Takai,
Takai.
Taka Sugiru,
Sakka Sugiru.
Shizuka da
Sukada.
Shizuka Sugiru.
Shishuka Sugiru.
Yasumu
Yasumu.
Yasumi Sugiru.
Yasumi Sugiru.
Atsui
Atsui.
Atsu Sugiru.
Atsu Sugiru.
Urusai
Hai.
Urusa Sugiru.
Urusa Sugiru.
Hi. So any doubts regarding how we were changing these verbs and the adjectives to with using Sugiru?
No sensei.
Hi. So we move ahead and okay, so now if I want to make a sentence in Japanese saying yesterday I saw too much of TV. So yesterday I saw too much of TV in the plain past form. So to watch is known as miru, right? Miru is the verb and the word for TV in Japanese is terebi, right? Yesterday is kino. So how will I make the sentence? Anybody who would like to try making the sentence?
Kinu
Hi, Siddharth.
wa terebi o mitsuki da.
Close enough, Siddharth. So it is Kino Terebio Missugita.
Kinu terebi o mitsuki da.
Hi, very good effort, Siddharth. Hi, arigato gozaimasu. So the next sentence you want to say is Chennai is very hot. You're saying it in a polite form. So anybody who would like to guess this, Atsui is the kyoshi for hot, right? Anybody who would like to try framing the sentence? Chennai is too hot, is what you're trying to say.
Chennai wa atsu sugimasu.
Chennai wa atsugimasu. Very good, Shweta-san. So it is Chennai wa atsugimasu. Hi, arigato gozaimasu. So any doubts regarding these two sentences?
No sensei.
Hi. Let's move ahead. So now if you want to say this room was very cold. This room was too cold. In the plain past, plain tense, I mean the plain form, you want to say this room is very cold. So in the plain form, the verb has to be. So the adjective for cold is samui, right? And the word for room is heya.
Yeah.
So how will we frame the sentence in Japanese? Anyone who would like to try?
Kono heya wa samui sugiru.
Good enough, Siddharth-san. Kono heya wa samu sugiru. Right? We drop e and we add sugiru. So kono heya wa samu sugiru. Very good, Siddharth-san. Arigato gozaimasu. So now the next sentence you want to say is you drank a lot of water. So to drank a lot of water. So in a polite past form, water is mizu, right? And the verb to drink is nomu. So how will we frame the sentence in Japanese?
Mazu o nomi sugimasu.
Sugimas in the present tense, Vishnupriya-san. Now the past tense will be ma shita.
Sugimashita.
Very good, Vishnupriya-san. Arigato gozaimasu. So mizu o nomi sugi mashita. Mizu o nomi sugi mashita. Any doubts over here?
No sensei.
No sensei.
Hi. So we move ahead with the grammar. Right, so we have a sentence here, right? So the sentence over here is keiki ga takusan arimasu. Keiki ga takusan arimasu. There are a lot of cakes, right, present over here. Now what happens? Keiki wa mada arimasu ka? Keiki wa mada arimasu ka? Is there still some cake left now?
No
Yeah, right? Arimasen. Arimasen. What happened? Keki o zenbu tabete shimaimashita. Keki o zenbu tabete shimaimashita. Right? I ate all the cakes. So you have keiki o zenbu tabete shimaimashita. We have the form tabete shimao, which is your te shimao form, right? It's a sukaimasu ka. When do we use this te shimao form?
When we eat cake, sentence in present.
We use this form.
Action.
Hi. So when there's a completion
When we
of
do
the
something.
Hi. So when we complete an action, right? It's showing you the completion of an action. So here the action that is completed is that you have eaten the cake, right? You ate all the cakes. So there were a lot of cakes present and then you ended up eating all of them, right? So that is the completion of an action. So that's when we're using this te shimao form. Any doubts so far?
No, sir.
Hi. For example, you're saying gomenasai, right? Because your mom, Okasan, is angry, right? So you say gomenasai. Keiki o zenbu tabete shimaimashita. Keiki o zenbu tabete shimaimashita. I ate off all the cake. It's a sukaimasu ka. Now when are we using this phrase? Anybody?
We sorry.
When we're sorry, right? Why are we feeling sorry?
Doing something wrong.
So you're regretting it, right? You're feeling disappointed. You're regretting that you ate up all the cake. So that's why you're apologizing to your mother and you're saying, Gomenasai, keiki o zenbu tabete shimaimashita. So when you use this te shimau form, it normally means you regret something. There's a completion of an action, but that completion of an action gives you a feeling of a regret or disappointment. Okay? Any doubts over here?
No, sir.
So we have tabete shimao, right? So doshi in a form wa nan desu ka? What is the verb form over here?
Third form.
Very good, Siddharth-san. So it is your te form plus shimao, right? Your te form plus shimao. That's how we make this form. Any doubts over here? So you have te shimao, right? Which is the first group verb. So the polite form will be
Shima.
te. So shimao, the polite form will be
Shima.
te shimao. Yes, shimao is the first group verb, right?
Shimaimas.
Very
Shimaimas.
good, Siddharth-san. So it is shimai mas. The polite negative form will be
Shimaimas.
shimai masen or
Vanai this.
very good, Siddharth-san. Shimai masen or shimavanai des. The polite past form will be
Shimaimashita.
very good, Siddharth-san. Shimai mashita. And the polite negative past form will be
Shimaimasen deshita or Shima Vana Katta this.
very good.
Shima Vana Katta this.
So it is shimai masen deshita or shimavanakatta des. So any doubts over here?
No, sir.
Hi, so we have shimao in its plain form, right? So the plain negative form will be The Jisho form is Shimao. The plain negative form?
Shimao.
Very good, Siddhartha. Shimawa Nai. The plain past form will be
Shimatta.
Shimatta. And the plain negative past form will be
Shimavanakatta.
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 Right? Shimavanakatta. Any doubts over here? Has everybody understood this?
Yes.
Hi. So let's practice this a bit. So we have the verb te shimao, right? The verb te shimao. So the verb over here is nomu, right? Nomu. So how will it become when we use te shimao? Siddharth-san, would you like to try this?
Nomide Shimao.
Nonde,
Nonde Shimao.
nonde shimao, right? Nonde shimao. Okay, the next verb that we have is kau, which means
Buy.
to buy, right? Kau, which means to buy. Shweta-san, would you like to try doing this?
Hi, Sensei. Kate Shimao.
Very good, Shweta-san. So it is katte shimao. The next verb is benkyo suru, which means
Read.
no, we just saw
To
it.
study.
Very
To
good,
study.
Siddharth-san. So remember, benkyo suru. Whenever you hear the word benkyo, it means to study. Okay?
Right.
Hi. So Ganesh-san, would you like to try doing this? Ganesh-san?
Yes, sir. I told. Pensi, Pensikyo, si, te simau.
Very good, Ganesh-san. Arigato gozaimasu. Right. So it is benkyo shite shimao. Benkyo shite shimao. So the next verb is iku, which means iku
To go.
means to go, right? Vishnupriya-san, would you like to try doing this one?
Itte Shimao.
Very good, Vishnupriya-san. So it is itte shimao, right? Itte shimao. Okay, the next verb we have is kaku, which means
To write.
very good, Hemalata-san. Kaku means to write. So Hemalata-san, will you like to try doing this one?
Hi, Sensei. Kaite Shio.
Kaite shimao.
Shimao.
Very good, Hemalata-san. Hi, arigato gozaimasu. So you have kaite shimao. The next verb is yomu, which means
To read.
very good, Shweta-san. So it is to read. So Siddharth-san, the verb to read is yomu or yomimasu, okay? Whereas to study is benkyo suru or benkyo shimasu.
Right.
Right. So yomu is the verb that we have over here, right? So Siddharth-san, would you like to try doing this one?
Yonde Shimao.
Very good. So it becomes yonde shimao. Yonde shimao. Okay, the next verb is yasumu. Yasumu, which means
Rest.
to rest or take leave, right? Yasumu, which means to rest or take leave. So, Shweta-san, would you like to try doing this one?
Hi, Sensei. Yasunde Shimao.
Very good, Shweta-san. So it becomes yasunde shimao, right? Yasunde shimao. The next verb is kaeru, which means kaeru means it means to return, right? To go back home. When we say kairu, we are talking about returning or going back home. So the te shimao form, what will it be?
Kaite shimau.
Very good, Siddharth. So it becomes kaete shimao. Kaete shimao. Hi. So these are already verbs, right? Can we read all of them together once with the te shimao form? So we have nomu,
Nomu.
nonde shimao,
Nonde shimau.
kau,
Kau.
katte shimao,
Katte
shimau.
shimau.
benkyo suru,
Benkyo suru.
benkyo shite shimao,
Benkyo shite shimau.
iku,
Iku.
itte shimao,
Itte shimau.
shimau.
kaku,
Kaku.
kaite shimao,
Kaite
Kaite
shimau.
shimau.
yomu,
Yomu.
yonde shimao,
Yonde shimau.
Yonde shimau.
yasumu,
Yasumu.
yasunde shimao,
Yasunde shimau.
kaeru,
Kairu.
kaete shimao.
Kaite shimau.
Hi. Any doubts over here?
No sensei.
Hi. So now if you want to make a sentence, right? To say that yesterday you finished reading this book fully or wholly in the plain past form. How will you say that in Japanese? Yesterday is kino,
Kino.
right? Book is hon in
Hon.
Japanese, and the verb to read is yomu. So you want to say you finished reading this book wholly or entirely. So the word for wholly or entirely in Japanese is the word for fully. Anybody remembers?
Sanbu.
Zenbu, right? Very good, Siddharth-san. So anyone who would like to try making this sentence in Japanese?
Kino kono hon wo zenbu yonde shimatta.
Very good, Siddharth-san. Arigato gozaimasu. So it is Kino kono hono zenbu yonde shimatta. Kino kono hono zenbu yonde shimatta. Okay, the next one where you want to say that the film got over in the polite past tense. So film in Japanese is eiga, right? And the verb to end is or to get over or to finish is ovari. Ovaru is the verb, right? Ovari mas we say ovaru. So how will we make the sentence using te shimao in Japanese?
Eiga owatte shimai-mashita.
Very good. Close enough, Siddharth. So it's eiga ga owatte shimaimashita. Eiga ga owatte shimaimashita. So any doubts regarding these two sentences?
No
No
sensei.
sensei.
Hi. So the next sentence, right? When you want to say that the train has gone by. So the train has gone. So you that is you missed your train. So train in Japanese is densha, right? And the verb to go is iku, right? So how will we frame the sentence in Japanese?
Densha ga itte shimatta.
Very good, Siddharth-san. Arigato gozaimasu. So it is densha ga itte shimatta. Densha ga itte shimatta. Now, if you want to say last week, you caught a cold in the polite past form. So last week is senshu, right? To catch a cold is kaze o hiku. So how do we say that in a polite past form in Japanese?
Densha kasayo itte shimai-mashita.
Very good, Siddharth-san. So senshu kaze o hite shimaimashita. Senshu kaze o hite shimaimashita. Any doubts regarding these two sentences?
No sensei.
Hi. ahead. So you have a sentence here, right? Kino restaurant ni ikimashita. Kino restaurant ni ikimashita. Yesterday I went to a restaurant. But what happened? It was closed. So restaurant wa yasumi deshita. Restaurant wa yasumi deshita. So how, if I want to combine these two sentences, how can I make it one? I can just say Kino restaurant ni iku to restaurant wa yasumi deshita. Kino restaurant ni iku to restaurant wa yasumi deshita. Any doubts over here?
No sense.
So we have the sentence Kino restaurant ni iku to restaurant wa yasumi deshita. So you have the pattern sentence A to sentence B, right? Where your sentence B is showing the result of sentence A. So when you use A to B, you know, two sentences. Your sentence B over here is showing you the result. Kino restaurant ni iku. The result of that was restaurant wa yasumi deshita. It was closed. So because I went to a restaurant and I saw it, I knew that it was closed. So sentence B is showing the result of sentence A. Any doubts so far? Has everybody understood this?
Very sense.
So we have the next sentence, right? Mizu o nomanai de soto o arukimasu. Mizu o nomanai de soto o arukimasu. Totemo abunai desu. Totemo abunai desu. So without drinking water, you're walking outside and that's very right?
Huh?
Sensei, we have a break in your voice.
Yes, are you able to hear me now?
Hi, Sensei.
Hi. So what I was saying was Mizu no naide soto arukimasu, right? So without drinking water while we are walking out. So totemo abunai desu. That's very dangerous. So now again I want to combine these two sentences. So how can I combine? By using this particle to. So I can say Mizu no naide soto o aruku to totemo abunai desu. Mizu o 飲まないで外を歩くととても危ないです。Any doubts so far?
No sense.
Right. So again you have another sentence, right, which is ドアを開けます。Right? ドアを開けます。Which means that open the door. 何がありますか? What is there? When you open the door, what is there? So you have options, right? You have kaidan, gomibako, nado, right? Kaidan, gomibako, nado. So you could have steps, you could have a dustbin, etc. ドアを開けると階段やゴミ箱などがあります。ドアを開けると階段やゴミ箱などがあります。So if I open the door, when I open the door, I can have steps, or maybe there'll be a dustbin, etc. outside, right? So this is one way of combining the two sentences using the particle to. Any doubts over here?
No sense.
Hi. So, 水を飲まないで外を歩くととっても危ないです。And then you have ドアを開けると階段やゴミ箱などがあります。So, sentence A to sentence B. Right? So, sentence A is showing you a condition And sentence B is showing you something natural, right? Mizu noma naide soto aruku. That's a condition. If you walk outside without drinking water, to totemo abunai desu. So it's very dangerous, especially during summers, right? You might just faint. The next one, doa akeru to. That is, if you open the door, kaidan ya gomi bako nado ga arimasu. So it's natural to find either a staircase or maybe a dustbin or something like that outside, right? So sentence A is showing a condition and sentence B is showing something natural. Any doubts?
No, sir.
So you have sentence A to sentence B. So B is something which happens repeatedly. So for example, it could be a natural phenomenon, an explanation of a machine or etc. When I open the door, no matter how many times I open it, there could be a staircase there, there could be a dustbin there or something else. Any doubts?
No, sir.
Hi. So for example, you have cherry blossoms, right? So cherry blossoms in Japanese is known as sakura. Okay. Sakura is the word for cherry blossoms in Japanese. And the verb to bloom. So the verb to bloom is saku or sakimasu. Okay. Saku or sakimasu. So the sentence is Nihon de wa haru ni naru to sakura ga sakimasu. Nihon de haru ni naru to sakura ga sakimasu. Right? So when there's spring, when it becomes spring in Japan, you have sakura blossoming, right? Cherry blossoms blossoming, blooming. So here it's just showing you something. Sentence A, where sentence B is showing you something that happens repeatedly. So every spring you will have your sakura blooming. Any doubts? Has everybody understood this?
Yes, sir.
Right. So the next slide, right, we have is Botan o osu to doa ga akimasu. Botan o osu to doa ga akimasu. So osu or oshimasu is to press or push, right? So if I press the button, the door will open. So again here sentence B is showing an action that happens repeatedly many times over. No matter how many times I press the button, the door will open. Always, every time, right? So any doubts regarding this? So has everybody understood the meaning of how you're using to as a particle to join two sentences?
Yes, sir.
Hi. So this was your grammar for today, right? So let's go into the lesson. Hi. So this is your lesson, right? So if you see in your Hatten, you have what is known as Kochi, Sochi, Achi, Dochi, which is an informal way of saying Kochira, Sochira, Achira, or Dochira when it comes to directions. Okay. And then you have what is known as your Yogen, right? So in your Yogen, you have the word Sa, right? Sa, which means, well, I don't know. And then the grammar that we saw today. So the grammar that we saw today was Sugiru, which means to, right? When there's something in excess. And then we saw te shimao, which means completion of a movement when you do something regrettably. And to, which is a condition, right? When you have a condition. So if A happens, then B will be the result, or because of A, B will be the thing that happens. Okay, any doubts over here?
No, sir.
So can we read the Kotoba together for the lesson 19? So the first word is abimas or abiru,
Abimas or Abiru.
which means to bathe. The next word is okane,
Okani.
which means money. The next word is ofuru.
Ofuru.
Ofuro is bath. Okay, so your bathtub in Japanese would be ofuro. So O is the particle, honorific particle. Okay, the next verb is vasuremas or vasureru,
Vasure mas or Vasureru.
which means to forget.
Forgot.
The next word is mitaina,
Mitaina.
which means like. The next word is puru,
Puru.
which is swimming pool. The next word is hashi,
Hashi.
which means bridge. The next word is chodo,
Shodo.
which means just.
Just. Hashi
The
is
next
also chopstick, isn't it?
Hi Siddharth-san. So like I said, you might have one word which has many meanings, right? But the kanji will be different.
I see.
So that's why kanjis are equally important. So while reading the sentence, you will know whether you're talking about hashi as a bridge or hashi as a chopsticks. Okay. The next word is vattari mas or vattaru,
Tari mas or Vattaru.
which means to cross. Right? So the next word after that is masugu.
Masugu.
So masugu is straight. Right? And the next word is hoteru,
Hoteru.
which means hotel. So the next word is mon,
Moon.
which is gate. The next word is hantai,
Antai.
which means opposite. The next word is gava.
Gava.
When you use this gava with something, it means side. And then you have dash no yoko,
Dash no Yoko.
which means side of or the flank of something. The next word is fuku. Fuku means clothes. The next word is nugi mas or nugu,
Masa Nugu.
which means to take off or nugi mas or nugu means to take off. Okay. The next word is tabun,
Tabu.
which means probably or maybe. The next word is machi avase,
Chiavasi.
which means to wait, right? So you have machi avase is meeting. The next word is machimas,
Machimas.
which means to wait. Machimas or matsu. The next word is abunai,
Abunai.
which means dangerous. The next word is tomarimas or tomaru,
Tomari Masa Tomaru.
which means to stop. The next word is isogi mas or isogu,
Sogi Masa Isogu.
which means to hurry. The next keyoshi is hayai,
Hayai.
which means fast or quick. So hayai, is it ikeyoshi or nakeyoshi?
Ikyush.
Very good, it's ikeyoshi. So the next word is hashiri mas or hashiru,
Shiri Masa Shiru.
which means to run. The next word is shinimas or shinu,
Shinmasa Shin.
which means to die. The next word is kowai,
Kowai.
which is, and kyoshi, which means scary, right? When you're scary, that's the adjective for it. The next word is oji,
Oji.
which means uncle. The next word is oba,
Ba.
which means aunt. The next word is oze,
Ze.
which means many people. The next word is umi,
Umi.
which means sea. So the next verb is umaremas or umareru,
Umare Masaru Meru.
which means to be born. The next word is dochi,
Dochi.
which means which. The next word is kochi,
Kochi.
which means this. The next word is oboemas or oboeru,
Ube Masaru Uberu.
which means to memorize. Okay, any doubts regarding the kotoba? Hi. So we move ahead to the lesson, right? We'll start with the lesson. Hi, Siddharth-san, can you read the title for me?
Uide Oyogu.
Purude Oyogu, right? Purude Oyogu, which means to swim at a swimming pool, right? To swim at a pool, right? So, Vishnupriya-san, can you read Suzuki-san's dialogue for me? Vishnupriya-san? Hi, Shweta-san, can you read Suzuki-san's dialogue for me?
Hi, Sensei. Mainichi atsui desu ne. Atsugite mizu o abita kunarimasu. Kono chikaku ni puru wa arimasu ka?
Hi, Daijobu desu Vishnupriya-san. Shweta-san, once more after me, can you repeat?
Hi,
Mainichi
Sensei. Mainichi
atsui desu ne.
atsui desu ne.
Atsu sugite
Atsugite
mizu abitaku narimasu.
mizu o abitaku narimasu.
Kono chikaku ni
Kono chikaku ni
puru wa arimasu ka?
puru wa arimasu ka?
So he's saying every day, mainichi atsui desu ne. Mainichi atsui desu ne. So every day it is hot, isn't it? Atsu sugite mizu abitaku narimasu. Atsu sugite mizu abitaku narimasu. So when it's too hot, you feel the water becomes, you feel like taking a bath, right? The water becomes good enough to take a bath. So kono chikaku ni pool wa arimasu ka? Kono chikaku ni pool wa arimasu ka? So is there a pool nearby? That is what Suzuki-san is asking, right? Hemalata-san, can you read Raja-san's dialogue for me?
Hi, Sensei.
Hi.
Arimasyo Gatsuko
Gakko no mae o
Kono Mayo Matsu Ko
itte
Mizino Mitte
masugu itte
Masuguni. Sorry, Sensei, I couldn't continue.
hi, you can repeat after me, Hemalata-san. Masugu itte
Masugu Itte
migini
Migini
magaru
Magaruto
hoteru no mon ga arimasu.
Oteru Monga Arimas.
Atte
Atte
hoteru no mon ga atte Chodo hantai gawani.
Shodo antai gawani.
Kuruga arimasu.
Puruga arimasu. Sono koni.
Sono yokko ni
Sono yoko ni. Fuku wo.
nugu heya ga
Nugu heya ga
arimasu.
arimasu.
Hi, very good, Hemalata-san. Arigato gozaimasu.
Hi, sensei.
Hi. So it's Raja-san saying arimas yo. There is a pool, nearby there is a pool. So gakko no mae o masugu itte migi ni magaru to hoteru mon ga atte chodo hantai gawa ni pool ga arimasu. Gakko no mae o masugu itte migi ni magaru to hoteru no mon ga atte chodo hantai gawa ni pool ga arimasu. Okay, so when it comes to the school, right? If you go before the school, you go straight from the school and then you turn towards the right, right? Hoteru no mon ga atte. You will have the hotel's gate. And then just on the opposite side, chodo hantai gawani. The opposite side, pool ga arimasu. The pool is there. Sono yokko ni fuku o nugu heya ga arimasu. Sono yokko ni fuku o nugu heya ga arimasu. So in this corner, on this side, you have the room for the changing room to change clothes or to take off your clothes. Okay. So Suzuki-san is speaking, right? Suzuki-san is speaking. Ganesh-san, can you read Suzuki-san's dialogue for me? Hi. Arigato gozaimasu. Hi. So Suzuki-san is saying, Okkane wa irimasu ka? Okkane wa irimasu ka? So will they be, will I have to, or is there a fees for it? Do I have to pay money? So Raja-san is speaking, right? So he's responding to that question, right? So Sahana-san, would you like to read Raja-san's dialogue?
Hi, Sensei. Iye Gor
Hittori.
Sorry, Sensei.
So it is Hittori.
Hitori Gore Gore
Yes.
Be
Gorupi.
Gore Be Des
Once more, Sahana.
Gorupi des.
Hittori Gorupi des.
Gori Dorupi Des
Gorupi.
Gorupi
Hi. Arigato gozaimasu, Sahana-san. So Radha-san saying Hittori Gorupi des. Hittori Gorupi des. So for one person it is 5 rupees. Right? So Suzuki-san is speaking, right? So he is talking now. Right? So he's asking something. So Siddharth-san, can you read the dialogue for me?
Hi, sensei. Gaikojin mo onaji desu ka? Gaikojin
Gaikokujin.
Gaikokujin mo onaji desu ka?
Hi, arigato gozaimasu, Siddharth-san. Very good. So he's saying, Gaikokujin mo onaji desu ka? Gaikokujin mo onaji desu ka? Is it the same for foreigners, right? Is it the same for foreigners? So Raja-san is responding to that, right? He's responding to that question, right? Hemalata-san, can you read Raja-san's dialogue for me?
Hi, sensei. Itoi.
So we are here, Hemalata-san, where he's saying sa.
Sorry. Sa tabun onashi Onaji desyo.
Hi, very good, Hemalata-san. Arigatou gozaimasu. So, Raja-san is saying, Sa tabun onaji desyo. Sa tabun onaji desyo. So, well, it probably must be the same, you know. Probably must be the same, you know. So, Suzuki-san is speaking, right? So, he's responding to that. Shweta-san, can you
What
read
is
it
that
out?
sa sound, Sensei? What is that sa sound, Sensei?
So like I said, Japanese people like to make various expressions, right? So sa is one of our expressions, which means, well, I don't know. So he's saying, well, I don't know. Maybe it's the same, you know, because he doesn't know exactly. So he's just saying, well, I don't know, but I think it might probably it will be the same, you know. That's what he's trying to say. Hi. Shweta-san, can you read Suzuki-san's dialogue?
Hi, Sensei. Arigato gozaimasu. Ashita, ishoni ikimasen ka?
Hi, arigato gozaimasu, Shweta-san. So Suzuki-san is saying, arigato gozaimasu. Ashita, ishoni ikimasen ka? Arigato gozaimasu. Ashita, ishoni ikimasen ka? So he's saying thank you. And then he's saying, tomorrow shall we go together? He's inviting Raja-san, right? So Raja-san is responding to that. Ganesh-san, can you read the dialogue for me?
Sensei. It is no ikima shio. It is no ikimashio.
Very good, Ganesh-san. Hi, arigato gozaimasu.
Arigato gozaimasu.
So Raja-san is saying, "E desne." He's saying, "E desne." That's good, isn't it? Ikimasho. Saying, "Ikimasho." Let's go. Right? So the next scene is happening. What is it? Machi awase. Right? So the next scene is Machi awase. That means meeting, right? Meeting up. So the meeting up place. So Suzuki-san is starting the dialogue, right? He's speaking first, right? Sahana-san, would you like to read the dialogue for me?
Hi, Sensei. Can you hear me, Sensei?
Now I can, Sahana-san.
I have this distortion in my place, Sensei. That's why.
But I'm able to hear you speak like this, Sahana-san. Can you try reading once loudly?
Hi, Sensei. May I know the line, Sensei?
So it's the first line. I've underlined it after the Machi Avase in bracket.
Hi, Sensei.
Hi, Suzuki-san speaking. No, he's starting the dialogue.
Reshia Sen.
Raja-san.
Raja-san. Owayugo zaimasu. Owayugo zaimasu.
Once more, Sahana-san. After me. Raja-san.
Raja-san.
Ohayo gozaimasu.
Ohayo gozaimasu.
Hi, very good, Sahana-san. Arigato gozaimasu. So, Suzuki-san is saying, Raja-san. He's saying, Raja-san. So he meets Raja-san. It's like, oh, Raja-san. And then he says, Ohayo gozaimasu. Ohayo gozaimasu. Good morning, right? So Raja-san is responding to that, right? Siddharth-san, can you read the dialogue for me?
Yes, Tomate Suzuki-san, Indo no kuruma totemo hayaku ashite imasu kara. Isui de michi o wataru to abunai desu. Want me to continue, sir?
Hi.
Shinde shimai masyo.
Hi, very good, Siddharth-san. Arigato gozaimasu. So, Raja-san is speaking, right? She's saying, tomatte. He's saying, tomatte. So he's like, stop. And then he's saying, Suzuki-san, Indo no kuruma wa totemo hayaku hashite imasu kara, isoide michi o wataru to abunai desu. So saying, Suzuki-san, Indo no kuruma wa totemo hayaku hashite imasu kara, isoide michi o wataru to abunai desu. Right? Shinde shimai masyo. Shinde shimai masyo. So Indian cars, they are very fast, right? They run very fast. So if you see our Indian roads, the cars go very fast, right? Without properly following traffic rules. They just go fast. So he's saying, because they move so fast, please do not cross the road in a hurry. It's very dangerous. Do not cross the road in a hurry. It's dangerous. You can also end up dying, you know. You could also end up dying. So Suzuki-san is speaking, right? So he's responding to that, right? Hemalata-san, would you like to read the dialogue for me?
Hi. Soreva kowai desne ki o ikemasu.
Kiyo tsukemasu. Hi. Very good, Hemalata-san. Arigato gozaimasu.
Hi, sensei.
So Suzuki-san is saying, Sore wa kowai desu ne. Sore wa kowai desu ne. That's very scary, isn't it? Kiyo tsukemasu. Kiyo tsukemasu. So please be careful. So when you want to ask someone to be careful in Japanese, you will say this phrase, which is Kiyo tsukemasu. Then Raja-san is speaking, right? So he speaks, he's continuing, right? So, Vishnupriya-san, would you like to read a dialogue for me?
Hi, sensei. Nihon demo yoku oyogi ni imashitaka. Ikimashitaka.
Hi, arigato gozaimasu, Vishnupriya-san. Very good. So Raja-san is saying, Nihon demo yoku oyogi ni ikimashita ka? Nihon demo yoku oyogi ni ikimashita ka? So did you go often for swimming in Japan? So did you go often for swimming in Japan? So Suzuki-san is responding to that, right? Shweta-san, can you read the dialogue for me?
Hi, sensei. Kodomo no koro wa ryoshin ya oji ya oba tachi to o zei de umi ni ikimashita. Umi no chikaku ni umaremashita kara. Demo otona ni natte kara wa amari ikimasen.
Hi, arigato gozaimasu, Shweta-san. So Suzuki-san is saying, Kodomo no koro wa ryoshin ya oji ya obatachi to ozei de umi ni ikimashita. Right? Kodomo no koro wa ryoshin ya oji ya obatachi to ozei de umi ni ikimashita. Right? So when I was a kid, at that time, with my parents, right? Ryoshin is parents. So my parents or my uncle or my aunt. So in with many people, basically, right? With many people or with a big crowd, I used to go to the beach, to the sea. So umi no chikaku ni umare mashita kara. Umi no chikaku ni umare mashita kara. Because I was born near the sea. Demo otona ni natte kara wa amari ikimasen. Demo otona ni natte kara wa amari ikimasen. So, but since I become an adult, I don't end up going. Okay. So Raja-san is speaking, right? So he's responding to that now, right? So he's speaking and responding to that. Sahana-san, can you read the dialogue for me? Sahana-san? Hi, Siddharth-san, can you read the dialogue for me?
はい、さんさん。そうですか。でも、日本語のブルはブルみたいですね。
Once more after me, Siddharth-san. So desu ka?
そうですか。
でも、
でも、
日本のお風呂は
日本のお風呂は
プールみたいですよね。
プールみたいですよね。
はい、ありがとうございます、Siddharth-san. So, Raja-san is saying, so desu ka? Right? Saying, so desu ka? Is that so? でも、日本のお風呂はプールみたいですよね。でも、日本のお風呂はプールみたいですよね。But Japanese baths are like your swimming pools, right? The Japanese baths. In Japan, if you see, they have these big public baths where people can go and take a swim over there or just relax. Okay, so he is comparing that and saying that is similar to a swimming pool, isn't it? So because in a swimming pool also you have many people who get together, right? So he's saying the Japanese bath, it's similar to a swimming pool, isn't it? So Suzuki-san is speaking, right? So he's responding to that, right? So Hemalata-san, can you read the dialogue for me?
Hi, Sensei. So desu ne. Dochi no michi desu ka?
Very good, Hemalata-san. Arigato gozaimasu.
Sensei.
So, Suzuki-san is saying, right? So he's saying, so desu ne. So he's saying, so desu ne. That's right, isn't it? Dochi no michi desu ka? Dochi no michi desu ka? So he's saying, which road is it? Right? So he's asking like that, right? So Raja-san is speaking, right? So he's now he's answering that question, right? Vishnupriya-san, can you read the dialogue for me?
はい、先生。Raja San's dialogue.
Yes, Vishnupriya-san.
こっちですよ。おばえでません。
Once more, Vishnupriya-san, after me. Kochi desu yo.
こっちですよ。
Oboete imasen ne.
覚えています。Can you repeat it?
Kochi desu yo.
こっちですよ。
Oboete imasen ne.
覚えていませんね。
Hi. Arigato gozaimasu, Vishnupriya-san.
はい、先生。
So, Raja-san saying, Kochi desu yo. Saying, Kochi desu yo. This one you know. This one you know. Oboete imasen ne. Oboete imasen ne. You do not memorize it, right? You do not memorize it, right? He's asking Suzuki-san. Ganesh-san, can you read the dialogue for me?
忘れてしまいました。
Hi. Once more, Ganesh-san. Hi.
ま
Mashita.
した。
Very good, Ganesh-san. Hi. Arigato gozaimasu. So Suzuki-san is saying, Hi. Wasurete shimaimashita. Hi. Wasurete shimaimashita. Yes, I forgot about it, right? Yes, I forgot about it. So Raja-san is speaking and responding to that, right? Shweta-san, can you read the dialogue for me?
Hi, Sensei. Gaku kara masu gukite migi ni magate hoteru no hanai gawa desu.
Antai desu.
Hantai gawa desu. Kono hashi o wataru to sugu desu yo.
Hi, arigato gozaimasu, Shweta-san. So, Raja-san is saying, Gakko kara, right? Gakko kara masugu kite. Gakko kara masugu kite. Migi ni magatte hoteru no hantai gawa desu. Gakko kara masugu kite. Migi ni magatte hoteru no hantai gawa desu. So from the school you go straight. You come straight and then you turn towards the right. So it's on the opposite side of the hotel. Kono hashi o wataru to sugu desu yo. Kono hashi o wataru to sugu desu yo. So if we cross this bridge, it's immediately there, you know. If you cross this bridge, it will be there immediately. So Suzuki-san is speaking, right? So he responds to that, right? So he says, Hai, mo oboe mashita. Hai, mo oboe mashita. Yes, I have memorized it now, right? Yes, I have memorized it now. So any doubts regarding this lesson? Any doubts regarding the lesson? Hi. So, okay, so I'll quickly take your attendance. Hi, so Shweta-san. Ganesh-san.
Sensei.
Hemalata-san.
Hi, Sensei.
Banu Prakash-san. Deena-san. Sahana-san.
Hi, Sensei.
Siddharth-san.
Hi, Sensei.
Subin-san. Vishnupriya-san.
Hi, Sensei.
Did I forget anybody's name? Hi. Hi. So I'm having a slight headache right now. So we'll stop class over here for today. Okay. And hi. So gomenasai. So we'll continue with class on Monday. Okay. So we'll do lesson 20 on Monday. Hi.
Hi, Sensei.
Arigatou. Hi.
Sensei.
Gozaimashita.
Sensei. Sumimasen, Sensei.
Hi. Mata. Getsuyobi.
Sumimasen, Sensei.
Sensei.
I have one doubt. Can you please post some inside level question papers if you don't mind in Google Classroom?
I will post some for you over the weekend. Okay.
Hi, Sensei.
Hi.
Hi, Sensei. I have a doubt. Sorry, I missed applying for the N5 level exam, Sensei. The last date is over.
Hi. So Hemalata-san, there is always the next exam in July next year. You can take that up.
Okay,
So,
but I have a doubt, Sensei, whether I can continue with the N4 level for studying.
Yes, Hemalata-san. So you join for the N4 level. So you'll get better understanding also of the grammar and everything. And then in next July, you can take up your N5 level exam.
Okay, but I can't take N4 level. I have to complete the N5 and then join.
No, if you want, you can even take, if you have finished your N4 level class by then, you can directly take N4 also. It depends on you.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Sensei.
So
Arigatou
Sensei,
gozaimasu.
then it is not necessary to take N5. It is okay if we take directly N4.
So Shweta-san, it depends on you actually. If you want, you can take N4 directly, or you can take any level of JLPT just like that. But it's always better to have gone through class and understood first, right? So right now we're just finishing N5 level. So I will suggest and recommend all of you to continue to N4. Because if any of you want to try N4, then you have to attend the classes and understand the grammar better. But N5 level exam is also equally important because it gives you a proper base, right? It's the first level in the language. So it's your choice at the end of the day whether you want to write N5 or you want to go directly to N4 and write N4. But both the levels are equally important.
Hi,
Sensei.
Sensei. Same thing happened with me also. I also forgot to register.
So Shweta-san, you can always apply for next July. So if you continue with N4, if you feel like you want to write N4 directly, you can do that. Or you can write N5 itself again next July.
Hi, Sensei. Arigatou gozaimashita.
Sensei.
Yes, Vishnupriya-san.
When is Hayakawa taking N4 level? I mean, next batch.
There is a next batch happening in Hayakawa. So if you see the website, you will get a better understanding, right? On the website when the next N4 level batch is starting. So if you go to the website, they have the schedule put up over there. So you will be able to say which level, when they're starting the next level. Hi. Arigatou gozaimashita. Any other questions? Hi. So, Mata gets Yogi.